All right. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's hump day, right?
Hump day?
That commercial is a classic. I don't care what anybody says. But
Right.
especially at my job, because at one point in time, we had like 6 mics working there. So it was like,
Hey, Mike. What day is it, Mike?
So, Niners news flying around. Still crickets on the Brandon Ayuk situation other than the report that the Niners offered $26 million. But if that report didn't come from the Niners, I don't know how credible that actually is, right?
Yeah, I feel like Mike Silver, sometimes he's right, sometimes he's not. So,
yep. And
I'll tell you what I do. I mean, I did say 24 to 26 early in the off season, and as these other numbers came out, I adjusted to 26 to 28. So
that's where I'm at.
So 20, hearing a leak that confirms that just makes me feel like, yeah, I mean, they're in line with what I was thinking all along. So it doesn't shock me one little bit if it is true.
But that's
right.
exactly what
Until
I'm thinking.
You don't
26, know. 27, 28, something like that. That's always what I think is going on there.
I think so too. I mean, I'm hoping for 27, but yeah, 28 is probably more realistic.
But and players like money, right? Like Trent Williams, and he's under contract till 2026. So, but the report said eventually wants a contract extension. And every offseason there's talks of him retiring, right? And he says, "No, I'm playing next year." Well, why would, if he doesn't plan on staying with us for a few years, why would he even be thinking about that, right?
He just wants to be the number one paid guy, just like when Bakhtiari was making 23 mil and we paid him 23 mil, 10K. Now that Penei Sewell is making 28 mil, he probably wants 28 mil and 10K, And I would just say, I don't blame Trent Williams because he is the best offensive lineman in football still. He may have declined a little, but he's still the best, especially when you look at his mix of pass blocking and run blocking, being top 10 in both. Nobody else is top 10 in both. And I don't blame him. I blame us for making this contract where it was kind of 2-3 year contracts with the out for us in case he retired or declined. But now it's an in for him to request more money. And so, that's the danger of this type of contract where you don't really lock him down for the 6 full years, is that, after 3 years, he's welcome to renegotiate.
Man.
And and you've probably heard me say this, like my thing is these guys are putting their current and future well-being on the line every time they step on the field. So I don't ever begrudge any of them for getting the most money possible to maximize. I mean, shoot, just look at Larry Allen, died at 52, sudden death. That was last week or the week before. Big offensive linemen. These guys don't have the same kind of life expectancy that smaller, more average-sized individuals do. And a lot of them really eat their way into it, that they keep that weight on abnormally high because they know they have to compete against these D linemen. So it's I don't, and whatever your position is, I don't begrudge anybody for going for the most. I mean, as a 49ers fan, I always hope we can get a good deal, but when we don't, it's sort of like, or when somebody walks for another offer, it's a business. And anytime, entities in a business arrangement don't do what's best for themselves, they end up with, people, feeling like they got a raw deal. Like, oh, I took less and you still, didn't do what I wanted. And so there's all these hurt feelings and expectations. It's like a lot of times in business, everything goes best when everybody does what's best for themselves. Oddly enough.
And I'm kind of like if I'm GM of the Niners, and I'm not saying I'm smarter than the Niners, folks. I'm not saying that. But if I'm GM of the Niners, I would talk to Trent Williams about maybe voiding his current contract if he wants more money, because we have him until 2026. And he will be playing, I believe, at 38 years old in 2026. So, at that point, it's just like, why would you, a 38-year-old football player? Yes, Joe Staley played till he was what, 40, 41? And
Whitworth definitely played till he was that age. I think Staley was
he
a
was
little
in his
younger,
late 30s. I think he was
39,
pushing 40.
40. Yeah, Whitworth was 41 or 42, I think. So he's
Yep.
the gold standard for tackle longevity that I know of. Andrew Whitworth of the Rams, that is.
But still, and it's just one of those football players don't get younger. That they're still expensive. Don't get me wrong, but football players don't get younger. And if he wants a contract extension, maybe after this season, rework his contract. But I wouldn't actually sign him past 2027. That's just me.
Now, if anything, it would be kind of void years where you're just spreading the money out, but you're not really planning on him playing at that point, I would guess.
Yes. And, So at this point, Ayuk, we both got him slated 26, 28. I'm thinking 27, 28. It's going to be in that range is what I'm honestly thinking. But say you're playing GM here. You're GM of the 49ers. A team calls you and offers you a Pro Bowl caliber right tackle that's signed for the next 3 seasons under a pretty good contract for the 49ers. Would you trade Ayuk straight up for that guy?
For who?
For a Pro Bowl right tackle. I'm talking right tackle.
Yes.
And say he's under contract for, 3 more seasons.
Yes. I would trade for a right tackle. Absolutely. No hesitation.
And I would too, just because of the moves the Niners have made in the draft the last several seasons. You got 2 wide receivers this year. Year before we got Ronnie Bell, and he's not terrible. He's got some things to work on, but he's a young wide receiver, right? And then the year before we picked Danny Gray. I mean, we have a plethora of young, cheap wide receivers. So, and
I'm more excited
pretty
about
upright and protected, right?
Yeah, and I'm excited about Pearsall and Cowing for sure. I think Danny Gray and Ronnie Bell, I think they're both 1 foot out the door essentially, unless they really show out in camp or preseason. I don't see them either of those cats making the roster.
That's true. That's true.
This crowded room.
So we got chat. We got Jimmy. What's good, buddy?
What's up, Jimmy?
Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. What's cracking, man? He does a lot of short channels and all sports. So, you should check him out.
He's a Rams fan, but he's pretty cool, actually. So,
yep. Yeah, he's not like Rudy. I hope you're watching.
Rudy Ramelia.
Yeah, me and him have butted heads once or like one big time on a show with Corey Davis actually.
Oh man,
a while back.
R.I.P. Corey.
Steve-O, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Steve-O?
We got Kenny. He's got some great shows coming up, folks. He's got some interesting ideas. Subscribe to him and check him out. And keep going. Oh, Rob D. Can't forget him. He's a faithful. He's everywhere. Oh, there's CarCast. Is it CarCast or Spongy? It's kind of hard to tell. That's their podcast, is the Under the Helmet podcast. It's both of them. I think this is CarCast though.
I think it must be CarCast because he's talking about Tig. Jair Brown, our safety from last year.
Oh, it is.
First overall
it is CarCast.
Yeah, it must be CarCast. Spongy would be talking some smack about the Eagles.
That's the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly, now we were talking about the trade. I would do it. because keeping Purdy upright with all these wide receivers now, our wide receiver room is kind of full. You know, we're going to be cutting a couple guys that might instantaneously be picked up, and that just is what it is. But getting a right tackle to protect Purdy, and then having him and Trent Williams there, then you got what are we going to do with McKivitz? Right, he's under contract. Okay, move him into right guard. He struggles with the speed rushers,
or make him a swing tackle because I don't trust Jalen Moore to do that.
Well, we could have him and Burford compete.
Yeah.
And then the loser gets the swing tackle job. Actually, if you think about it, Colton McKivitz has played left tackle, right tackle. I've seen him at guard a few times.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Burford, he played tackle in college, and he played guard with us. So either way, these guys are kind of a offensive line Swiss Army knife. So whoever loses the battle becomes that kind of Daniel Brunskill-ish type of, offensive lineman on the bench, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't mind, honestly, seeing McKivitz at right guard because he struggles against speed rushers, and inside he's not going to be dealing with that much. And, then the center situation. I haven't seen anything on Jake Brindle and his arthritis/tendonitis. Have you seen anything on that?
No, but it's the type of thing that's not going to get a lot of coverage because there's no surgery. There's no PUP to start the season or anything. It's just something that's going to bother him the rest of his career, probably, almost certainly, because that kind of stuff is progressive and never gets better. Arthritis or tendonitis. I've never heard of anybody being cured of it.
Yep, this is definitely it's definitely a car cast. Yes.
Kenny asked, who was the last wide receiver traded for a tackle? And back in the day, not too long ago, I would have said, well, for a good tackle, you'd have to throw in, wide receiver and what else? A pick or another player or whatever. But now Justin Jefferson's making $35 million, and the highest paid tackle, Sewell, is $28. I think they got to give us a tackle and somebody else for Brandon Ayuk. I want a tackle and a pick, baby. Yeah.
The price of wide receivers has gone up. I mean, Diggs got traded from the Bills. Yes, it was a second-round pick, but he's also aging. He's not like a 26-year-old Brandon Ayuk. I think he's 30, 31-ish, somewhere in that range.
Sounds about right. I'll look it up.
And then they voided his contract, so it was only a 1-year rental for a second-round pick. So what does that make a guy like Ayuk, who still got a lot of left in the tank, worth? Right?
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. 30 years old for Stephon Diggs, and he turns in November. So he will turn 31, but kind of late in the season, almost December, basically, November 29th, Thanksgiving time, roughly.
Oh, we got Jess in the building. What's going on? These guys go live in about an hour and 10 minutes. Don't forget to, check them out, folks.
And then in a week and an hour and 10 minutes, I'll be going live with them with Terror Dome. So it's going to be a rematch.
Round two. I wish I had a fight bell
from last season. I hope you guys have your someone has a referee shirt to wear and ready for fireworks because I don't think we've streamed together, Terror Dome and I, since that happened.
I think you'd be all right. I think you'd be all right because you're kind of iffy about Purdy when you did that stream.
Yeah, no, I was because of how he was in camp. He was bad in camp, and he got better in the preseason, better early season, and amazing late in the season. So, no, I if anything, I'll just give him his props because he was definitely an early Purdy backer, and like I said, I mean, some things changed between then and now, but maybe Terror Dome just has the eye, maybe I don't. I don't know. We'll see, but he definitely got that one right.
I remember after the Miami game where Purdy had to come in for James, and because James is infinite wisdom tries to take it off with 200-300 pounders attached to him. What's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But
it was kind of a hip drop, actually, like that's been banned.
Yeah, that's illegal. That's illegal now.
Right?
Yeah. But so after that one game, a lot of folks are like, "Oh, look at this guy. He's going to be the next." I'm like, "Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. It's only one game. Let's see. Got to give it time. Let's see what he's got." And then we went all the way in that deep playoff run, and he got knocked out by Riddick in that game. And man, what could have been, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't. But at this point, Trent Williams wants more money. It's always nice to have more money. But I was talking to Damian Lee on the phone earlier while I was in the midst of madness at work, and he asked a very good question, and it was money based. He asked me if I would get in the ring with Mike Tyson for $12 million for one fight. I said, yeah. Why not?
Not me. You can't put a price on your mental faculties, and I mean, not that I'm good looking, but I don't want to be any uglier than I am. So, Mike Tyson could rearrange your whole grill and face pretty quickly.
Oh, he really could. He really could. I'm pretty quick though. I can bob and weave very well, and I would probably take a punch and then I'm out.
Sleep. Go to sleep, David. Snooze alert.
Kind of throw it, just to not kill myself.
You see what Jess said? She said throwing Beto in next week too. I think that's a joke, but if that's real, now there could be some fireworks, because that guy kicked me out of his group chat and blocked me on Twitter and X. Beto. I haven't seen him in a minute. He forgot to block me out of his Facebook group, so I still get notifications for that, but I don't even go bother to look. That could be some real fireworks. With Terradome, I got no. Actually, I guess I did see Terradome after the episode, because there was the music video for Breezy and John Chapman did, the Faithful to the Bay by the Debo mural in San Jose, and at Levi's. And I actually met Terradome, and I met his wife. And I was like, "Hey, I'm Ted." And she's like, "Oh, I know who you are." That's pretty funny. So, no, Terradome, I think we're good. Beto. Ooh, that could get spicy. That could get real spicy. But I think she's joking.
Well, I've been blocked by somebody on all social media, but I won't talk about that. That's not here nor there. It is.
I got blocked a million times, but usually I can shame people into unblocking me by crying about it and so-and-so blocked me. I'm so terrible, and get them to unblock me eventually. They're like, it's just not worth the effort of having to hear Ted bitch and moan about it. So she said she's not joking. Oh man. Wow, how to she knows just all the right buttons to push with me.
Oh boy, this would be a good show. I'll definitely be pulling up for that.
Yeah. Oh man.
Hey, speaking of Damian Lee, there he is.
There you go. Wow, that could be really good. That could be.
That's funny. But
yeah.
So, but yeah, we got the big panel show later. I don't know if you've ever watched that.
Absolutely.
Maybe not.
Yeah, of course.
But lately it's normally trivia. That's the reason. I don't think I'm going to get through the 500 question book, because we talk 49ers a lot too. But I'm trying to make it through that book before. We got this is the 40 days of kind of dead time, right? Everyone's on vacation.
There's no sports. right? Oh, I guess there's basketball still going and hockey. Are they
You
still
know,
persisting?
I'll change
Barely?
the background because everyone's on vacation. There you go, folks. There's a beach. But
Obviously haven't been paying much attention. So no, so it's just 2-0 Celtics. So we got the game coming up at 5:30. And then
so the Celtics are up 2-0.
yeah, on the Mavs.
They're gonna get 18 before the Lakers do.
Luca did a puka. And then I don't know if I don't even know if I have hockey on my phone. Let's see.
Yeah, make sure.
NHL.
But yeah, you know, I don't necessarily watch basketball. I kind of stopped a long time ago.
The Panthers are up 2-0 on the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Ooh, might watch that. Hockey's fast, you know.
Yeah,
That's just it is. It's incredibly fast, and they actually let people fight. So you know,
that is kind of fun, no doubt about it. And I love when people get checked into the boards and just everything, just a huge crash and everything shakes. It's definitely fun. And I guess the Sharks, the San Jose Sharks, got the number 1 overall pick in this year's lottery draft, whatever situation. And apparently there's a really good kid available for them. I mean, he's not like maybe generational, but maybe he's like 5-year-ational or 10-year-ational, you know, if you think generational is every 20 years. So that's kind of exciting if you're a San Jose Sharks fan, Bay Area hockey fan. Shout out to my brother-in-law, Ryan Rhino. He's a big hockey fan. He played some. He still plays some at over 40, which is pretty crazy.
I occasionally play sports, but at the same time, not very often. You know, like my daughter used to be in softball, and I would go to practices, help coach, you know, at some point. But I would help them, you know, during practices, and you know, got myself out there, just physical activity. Lately, I've been needing to work out because I'm not getting enough physical activity, you know. But
workouts are huge because, you know, it's not just the you know, getting in shape part, but like literally you're sharper after you work out and you're in a better mood. It's like an antidepressant. It's like a you know, performance enhancer mentally. So there's a lot of good fringe benefits besides like losing weight and building muscle and stuff like that.
that's for sure. That's for sure. You know, and you get more like longevity, you know, health wise too, because you're pumping your heart. You know, it cuts down on heart problems, and like stamina. That's a big one right there. You know,
Yeah.
I don't really. It takes a lot to get me tired. You know, and if I'm not incredibly physically active during the day and kind of wear myself out, I have trouble sleeping.
Yeah,
So
no doubt about it. That's another fringe benefit. You know, another thing that's really good about working out is, you know, when you get stressed out, you know, your body creates cortisol. And it's a really toxic chemical, and it causes you to store fat around your gut. And it also kind of like turns your brain into mush, essentially. And working out burns cortisol as well as burning fat. So it's got that sort of twin benefit as well too.
oh yeah, I was just looking at my notifications. Wayne Breezy's a Celtics fan, folks.
Oh yeah, he is. He must be over the moon.
And you know, they're up 2-0, but it's not over yet. You know, all kinds of stuff happens in the NBA.
Yeah, 2-0 is not a death sentence. But you know, we got, I guess, the others besides Luca probably have to step up and help him, would be my guess. I'm guessing that he's played well because every time I've ever watched him, I was there when the Warriors dispatched the Mavs in Game 5 before they went on to beat the Celtics in the finals a few years back. I went to Chase Center for that game. It was awesome, and Luka was insane, and Dinwiddie was really good, and so was Brunson. Those three guys were nails. But then everybody else was just like blowing it, ruining it for him. So, what are you going to do? No man can win a team sport by himself. You gotta have some backup. You gotta have some people to let you rest and pick up the slack for you a little bit.
And picking up the slack a little bit. So CMC signed until he's 31. I guess that's all right. Like out of all these free agents, who do you see? And I'm talking like the guys that hit the free agent market next year. Tavares, Ward, Hufanga, Lenore. Isn't Greenlaw a free agent?
Yes.
So we're going to be coming up on time to pay guys and time to pay Purdy.
Greenlaw's extension was 2 years. It was last year and this year. So at the end of the year, Greenlaw's a free agent, which is tough for him coming off an Achilles to then have to.
That is. Maybe we'll have to sign him to a decent 1 year. Make sure you're healthy type of thing.
Yeah, that would be the classy move for sure.
Well, out of these guys, like Lenore, Hufanga, Greenlaw, Aaron Banks, even, we have a few guys coming up. Who would you extend? Include Ward here, Tavares Ward, although he's 28.
Yeah, I think Ward you got to do. Hufanga I would like to do because we're thin at safety. Dre Greenlaw, it's the right thing to do, but also, from the Niners' perspective, it's nice to be able to see if he ever gets back to 100% this year or not before you commit to big dollars. But I think a 1 year deal just to make sure he gets back on his feet. I think he's, we drafted him, Greenlaw, in 2019, didn't we? So he's been with the team 5-6 years.
Yeah.
I think we owe him. I think we owe him 1 more year at least, just to see if he can. Because wouldn't it suck if he wasn't back to himself in 2024? We let him walk, and then he came back to himself in 2025 with a chip on his shoulder somewhere else because we
my goodness,
because we let him go.
We also have young guys like Jalen Graham and D. Winters, and D. Winters in the limited camp and OTA so far has looked pretty good. Yeah. I say it that way because it's not preseason, it's not an actual game. We're talking about practice, right? And honestly, did you know how fast D. Winters is?
He's damn fast.
4.49 40-yard dash, and this is a linebacker.
Yeah, him and Robert Beal from the same draft, the D end. They're both ridiculously fast, faster than any of our other guys at those positions.
And I see a great benefit to having him on the field. And at this point, we signed Campbell, the veteran. And
I'm pretty bullish on Devondre Campbell.
I'm not necessarily sold on the guy, because it's just one of those. We have a couple guys in house that have been in the system for a year, and now it's year 2, so the red shirt should be off. And let's see what D. Winters and Jalen Graham can do. We signed Flanagan Fowles back, and he's a good special teamers. Good backup. Got decent guy to come in for a game if he has to, but he's not a long-term answer to missing Greenlaw. But D. Winters really could be. So I'm hoping he keeps up his camp, keeps on killing it. It's what we need to see. And Purcell, voluntary OTAs, everyone's like, "Oh, he sucks." He only got thrown at 4 times, folks. Come on, it was literally him. He was getting his feet wet. He hasn't been in Kyle's offense, so he's getting his feet wet. He was learning, and then he come back for the mandatory, and looks pretty good. All kinds of people are talking him up, and maybe there's a reason why we took him in the first round.
Yeah.
A lot of people, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of folks like, "Oh, we reached for him. Why did we reach for a guy?" If anyone has access to the Niners draft board, please send it to me.
Right.
I don't think anyone has access to it. That's why I say that. We don't know what the Niners value and what they don't. Which Forrester came out and said that he's okay with having mid offensive linemen as long as we got those position players. And I would honestly, oh, look at this.
What's that?
I don't know. I haven't heard a lot about it. A lot about the rookie 7th round pick out of Florida State. Isn't that where he came from? A linebacker?
Yeah. I mean, all I know is that I think it was really wise to draft people from Florida State because they went 13-0 and they would have been in the tournament, the national championship tournament, if their quarterback hadn't gotten injured with 3 games to go in the season. And they didn't lose any of those games, but the committee in their wisdom decided that FSU shouldn't go because they don't have their starting QB. So I think that really devalued their players a lot compared to like the players from Michigan and Washington who made it all the way to the final game. So everybody got to see them and all those extra games that were so high profile, the semifinals and the final. So I think that kind of overvalued the Michigan and Washington players a little bit. And I think it undervalued the Florida State players. I think it's brilliant to get Renardo Green and Bethune from there. I think it was a master stroke by the 49ers. I mean, we'll see if it actually plays out, if it actually works out. But in my mind, I think we got him way lower in the draft than a comparable player skill-wise on, like I said, Michigan or Washington, who were in that final game.
Oh, there's Don Dotson. What's going on? Good evening. Oh, Rick Diaz. Let's go. It's coming from Chicago. Ooh, Chicago. I bet it's not 95 degrees out there. But it's a dry heat. You get in the car, you blast the AC, everything's okay. Right.
If it's 95 in Chicago, like people are dying. I mean, that's crazy heat.
Yeah, the buildings they have there wouldn't be adequately ventilated for that. Yeah, that would be horrible. Ooh. Play in the weather.
September week 1. Jets. Bring them on. Bring on Aaron Rodgers. We kind of talked about that some, right, David? Like, as far as like, I'm of two minds about the game because, we own Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. He's 0-4 against the 49ers in the playoffs. But in the regular season, I think Kyle's 0 for Aaron Rodgers in the regular season. I remember the COVID year.
I think we beat him in 2019.
Okay. I know we lost in 2020 and 2021. So.
Yeah, but
we did beat him in 2019.
He beat us the next time we played him.
Yeah. That was when Staley was out, and we had was it School and somebody else, the backup Brunskill. School, yeah. And School was struggling at left tackle, and Zadarius Smith was eating him alive. And we moved Brunskill over, and that neutralized Zadarius. And obviously the defense played really well. Kittle had that really long, You're right. So we did beat them in 2019, but 2020, 2021, we did not. So, and I guess, did we not play them in 2022 or 20? I know we didn't in 2023. I guess we didn't in 2022 either. Kind of interesting. All right. Well, so we're definitely due for some Packer. Oh, well, I guess it's not the Packers though; it's the Jets because Aaron Rodgers moved. But
Yeah, but it's still Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to beat the Niners as much as I want to play them. I want to beat them.
make them regret their decision, right? Wasn't that he said? Boy, are they going to regret it? Not so much, Aaron. You only got one ring, bro.
Yeah, and then you beat them in the playoffs. That's when it matters the most, right?
I mean, it is one more than we've gotten during that time frame, but it seems like we've been there a lot, and at least we got to the Super Bowl, whereas the only time he only made it once. So I don't know. But being 0-3 in the Super Bowl stings too.
He's played on some good teams up there in Green Bay too, though.
Some really good offenses. They never really had that lockdown defense, though.
But yeah, I kind of look at so out of all these teams in the NFC this upcoming season,
yeah,
like who do you think is going to be a problem?
Lions, Packers, Eagles, Cowboys. I think are definitely a tier below or two. Rams down with the Cowboys. Who am I missing? Who do you think's good that I left off?
I think the Atlanta Falcons might be a problem.
I mean,
they got
Cousins, they just needed a QB and they got Kirk. Because it depends on that Achilles, it's hard to get back that quickly. But yeah, I mean, he's not exactly the most mobile quarterback anyway. And they do have a good O-line and they have great weapons and they revamped their defense. So yeah, I could see the Falcons out of the South maybe being someone to contend with a little bit. Sure.
And I mean, the Giants, it really depends on one thing with the Giants. Can Daniel Jones stay healthy?
Yeah, and can he just not blow it even if he is healthy? I don't believe in Daniel Jones at all. I think they massively overpaid with that $40 million deal.
Oh, they did. They did. But I believe in their defense. Their defense is going to be with Brian Burns and Thibodeau on the other side. That's and some of the other players they have. They're going to that defense is going to be really good. It's just offensively, what are they going to be able to do?
And they lost Saquon Barkley, didn't they?
Yes, he signed up with the Eagles.
Oh, that's right.
I'm not necessarily cringing on that one because I think Saquon, I think he's had 2 healthy seasons out of the 5 that he's been in the league. So we'll see what happens with the Eagles. I don't know. I just think when it comes to the Eagles, like who I think is going to be a problem, I think the Lions are definitely going to be a problem. I think the Packers are going to be a problem. And the rest is just kind of like, the rest are kind of one tier down from those two. Because you got Atlanta, you're going to have the Cowboys. You're going to have, I don't know about the Buccaneers. They're not getting any younger, And
I just will never bank on Baker Mayfield.
I really never have. There was a few people that were saying, let's get Baker Mayfield when he was available. Then the Rams, picked him up to block us from getting him.
Would have been better than Josh Johnson, that's for sure.
Oh, my goodness. That guy was a deer caught in the headlights when he went into the game.
I mean, come on. They blocked us for sure on that move, and it worked. I would put the Rams up there with the Lions and Packers if Aaron Donald hadn't retired. But I don't know how. They drafted some good-looking defenders, but I think that's going to be really tough for them. But their offense looks great. I mean, they got Cooper Kupp, they got Puka Nacua, They have Higbee, who's a solid tight end. I think they drafted a tight end as well, or signed one, a pretty good free agent. But then they got obviously Kyron Williams, who was, when healthy in 2023, was just about as productive as CMC, let's be honest. And they got Blake Corum from Michigan. And while I said Michigan players are a little bit overvalued because being in the Natty and winning the Natty, Blake Corum was a special player in college. And I feel like running back is one of those positions where it's one of the easier transitions to the NFL, as long as you can block and catch. And he's really good at catching. I don't know about the blocking part, but he's a lot of times in the national championship game and the lead up game, like when Michigan needed to play, that's who came through for them was Blake Corum. So that one worries me. And here's the biggest thing for the Rams. Like, so you got all these names, you got all these weapons, you talk about it, but they invested in O-line, and their O-line looks tough. And I just really wish Kyle would invest in O-line the way Sean McVay or Les Snead or whoever it is for the Rams, but the way the Rams did, because it makes me jealous. I'll be honest. As a Niner fan, I'm jealous of the Rams O-line. Not Trent Williams, but all the rest of our players are inferior to the rest of the Rams O-linemen.
Well, and then you look at how they built their team. They do have Cooper Kupp on a not necessarily big wide receiver contract nowadays, but pretty heavy one. And then they got Matthew Stafford, and he's not necessarily signed to a huge deal for QBs. He's signed to a pretty good one.
I think he's like low 40s, 41, 42, something like that.
Yep.
So just a little more than Daniel Jones, which, come on. I mean, Stafford, he's a really good quarterback when he's healthy.
Yep.
And he plays hurt pretty well, too, unless he's just really, really
They have that
up.
rookie running back. They have, what is it? Is it Kyron Williams?
Kyron Williams. Like I said, he was as productive as CMC.
He's on his rookie deal. He's going into his second year. They got Puka Nacua going into his second year. Yep. They have a lot. They have a lot of young players on rookie contracts.
Yep.
And they're good position players. So instead of investing in position players, they went ahead and decided to invest in O-line to protect their biggest asset, which is Matthew Stafford.
Because they don't want to see Jimmy G in there, or James Garoppolo, Richard Garoppolo, as you call him. They're smarter than that, I think, than to think.
Who knows if he even makes their team? We'll find out. Right?
Well, he will. Stetson Bennett is not going to beat out Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm going to tell you right now. I called him Drunk Purdy because he had the DUI, and now he's gone to rehab over it all. And that guy, he's in shambles until proven otherwise. So unless they picked up some, do they have any other quarterbacks? I don't follow their roster closely enough.
Not worth noting.
I thought that's who it was as their presumptive QB3.
Yeah, Stetson Bennett is their QB3 or QB2, depending. You never know. But and there's some guys, and shout out to them that are like, I don't want to see James Richard Garoppolo play against us. He'll beat us. I'm like, no. Like,
not if Fred Warner's in there.
Our defense played against him in practice a lot, and he was getting whooped. So during the game is going to be full speed. It's just going to be that much worse.
Yeah. Yeah, because they can actually hit him now.
And then our defense will probably do the same thing people were doing to us when James is at QB. Stack the box.
Yep. Dare him to throw deep.
QB beat you.
Yep. Dare him to throw deep. I like our odds with that.
Ooh. But I like our odds with that too against James. But I don't think we're going to see him on the field though. Unless something happens to Stafford, and then who knows what's going to happen with the Rams. But actually, this guy Rick Diaz brings up the Texas, the Houston Texans, and I expect D'Amico Ryans in his first season makes the playoffs with a team that's rebuilding.
Yeah, as a rookie coach with a rookie quarterback. That was I don't know that that's happened much. I don't think it's very common for
I
that
don't,
type
I
of thing.
don't remember the last time that's actually happened.
Me neither. So that's what I'm saying. It's rare, at least in the last 50-ish years.
You know, there was a few seasons ago, people were, going, fire Kyle, fire Kyle. It's like, this happens every offseason, folks. And someone asked a question, who would you replace Kyle with? And I said D'Amico Ryans.
It's a good pick.
Like, no hesitation. He's a great coach. I honestly look at him like he's the one that got away at this point.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
We'll see
People
what they
want to
do
play
this
for
next
him.
season.
Yeah. No, I think there's some wisdom to that. Definitely. I would be with you. There's no one else I would rather have than D'Amico Ryans if we had to get rid of Kyle. Absolutely.
I mean, oh man, yeah, it's like I've talked to a lot of 49ers fans, and they were like, "What about Mike McDaniel's?" Like, I'm like, I don't think he would have been the guy. I just look at it like Robert Saleh, maybe, but D'Amico Ryans, there's something about him, and the whole team just gets right behind him. He's a leader. He's a great coach. He only like when he was a defensive coordinator with us, a couple games into it, he got going, and then all of a sudden our defense was just lights out. Like, good luck, right? Then he coached the number 1 defense in the league. Then he went to the Houston Texans. Now we're back to the internal candidate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I actually wanted an internal candidate. Or Bill Belichick. It was either Bill Belichick or an internal candidate. That was my wish list right there. And a lot of folks might say Bill Belichick. Hey, the guy knows the guy knows defense, and I could imagine what he could do with the talent that's on ours. But that wouldn't work out because then you have Kyle. Kyle does have his ego. And then you would have Bill Belichick and his ego. And, Levi Stadium is only so big.
True. Yeah, it would be a lot for him to report to someone as young as Kyle. That would be tough for sure. But I like the idea of Bill Belichick. I just had a feeling it was never going to happen. And same thing with Vrabel. Vrabel was the one I really liked because he's younger. And I don't know, he's just more of a guy's guy than Belichick's just a little crusty. Vrabel, I feel like, is a little more outgoing and big dude who just got done playing a lot. I mean, Belichick never really played in the NFL anyway.
And he was a linebacker. So, Robert Saleh was the linebackers coach. D'Amico Ryans was a linebacker. Mike Vrabel was a linebacker. The guy that's actually Antonio Pierce, the Raiders head coach, was a linebacker. I'm sitting there going, what's up? Why do linebackers make great head coaches? Like, what is up with that? It's kind of, maybe because they're in the middle of the defense. A lot of these guys were actually calling the defense. That like QB of the offense. They're the QB of the defense, and they're calling it. And it's just one of those things. I don't know what equates to a linebacker making a good head coach, but that happens. Like we had a guy back in the day, and he had his issues. He benched Vernon Davis. His name is just escaping me right now. Mike Singletary.
Yeah, Mike Singletary. That's right.
And he honestly said that this team's so good we should be able to just force our will on people, because he knew what he had on the field, right? Then here comes Jim Harbaugh, takes over this team and shows everyone that the team is that good. But that's back when we had wide receiver issues. Randy Moss and Crabtree were our starters, right?
Oof.
And
over the hill, Randy Moss. It's like that's a name that sounds good, but he was washed by the time he got here.
But I mean, and we actually have had some severe wide receiver issues over the years since the early 2000s. You know, we picked that one guy. I think it was in the first round. What was his name? Rashard Woods or something. He was with us for 1 year.
Boy.
You know, AJ Jenkins, um, like Dante Pettis. Even you know, we've had some issues finding good wide receivers, and here
Patton,
we are.
David Patton.
Yes, yes, and you know, but here we are. We're in 2024. We've drafted Debo. We've drafted Ayuk. We've actually drafted Purcell and Cowing, but we don't know what they have yet. We haven't seen them hit the field. But then we got Ronnie Bell, who looked really good in preseason last year. You know, he had his issues too, but he was a 7th-round pick. He's a young guy. He can improve. We got Danny Gray, which we haven't seen really anything of. He was a good special teamer during his rookie year. That's what I can say about him. And yeah, at this point, it seems like we're finding wide receivers finally, right?
Yep.
And now I would love to see us head in the direction of protect Purdy and, you know, kind of use like Purcell and Cowie, use these rookie contracts. Go get a couple guys. You know, find that veteran center, the one that's going to stay healthy, though. Shout out to Rich Burgett. Kind of sad that he couldn't stay healthy, and you know, he would have been great at center.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Left tackle is that's your linchpin of your O line, the blindside guy. Yeah. Then after that, right tackle and center. You know, right tackle is probably a little more important, but you know, a really good center. And you know, I saw that the speaking of centers, not too long ago, I saw that the Chargers released Corey Linsley, who I don't know if something happened to him or what, if he was injured or what, but not long ago when he was with Green Bay and then with the Chargers, he was one of the, you know, top 5, top 10 centers in the league. I would love it if we would pick that cat up for sure. If he's still what he once was, that, you know, that's always the big caveat. I haven't been following him closely enough to like say for sure that he's, you know, worth a big contract or whatever, but I'd love to get him in camp and just see if he could beat out, you know, but why am I blanking on our center's name?
Jake Brendel.
Jake Brendel, yeah. It was a good pass blocker.
Career backup until he, you know, joined us, and
yeah,
he's actually backing up Alex Mack.
He's not much of a run blocker though, you know. Sentinel says center is the most important. Interesting. Maybe for Kyle's system it is. Maybe.
It definitely is for Kyle's system because he you know, he calls the protections for the quarterback, right? And a lot of times he pulls and you know, he's running out of position, and it's just one of those things. I want to see Feliciano at center this year personally.
That works for me, and maybe hopefully Pooney's ready to play guard then.
Plug him in at right guard, and you know, McKivitz at right tackle, or if Pooney's going to be, everyone's saying his arms are too short. I don't know. You know, if you have long arms, aren't you just grabbing and holding the guy with it? You know, it's like, am I wrong?
Well, there's this phenomenon where if somebody gets into your chest and they have long arms, then your arms come short and you can't grab their chest plate back. You're like, maybe you can with your fingertips, but you can't like grab it the way they're supposed to. And so I think that's why the long arms are. But that's why Pooney couldn't play tackle. But guards can have shorter arms. Guards don't have to have as long arms as tackles do. It's tackle is the main position where you got to be able to you know, get a grip on those DNs before they get around you. And I think that's what Brunskill's problem might be too, or not Brunskill, McKivitz's problem might be as well, with dealing with the speed rushers.
He gave up 3 sacks to TJ Watt. So, You know, he's a speed rusher, right?
Yeah, week 1, I remember.
But
Same
yeah,
week
so
that Drake the Snake Jackson had 3 sacks as well. So that was wild. We thought he was going to go crazy, and then that was it for the season.
but yeah, you know, so it's vacation time, folks. You know, that's what's up with the beach in the background there. That's actually a picture my daughter took. That's her husband facing away, believe it or not.
I like it. Looks tropical.
It's very tropical.
It's like
You
a
know,
Corona commercial.
she's actually coming back in September. I'm kind of excited. You know, it's kind of late in the season, but I'll be getting my fishing buddy back and whatnot, so I can't wait for that.
Very nice.
Um,
Catch a big one.
yeah. Well, right now it's so hot that you literally have to go up to like a dam reservoir, you know, get on a boat, go out there and sink it down to where the water's cold. Because when it's hot, they ain't gonna bite. Or go fishing at night when you can't see anything. So, you know, good luck with that. Right.
Good luck with that.
All right. So everyone go check out what is it? Ted Talks Bikes? Is that the new channel?
The new channel is Teddy Talks Bikes, all one word. So yeah, if you go Teddy Talks Bikes, all one word, that's my bike channel. Got some new videos up from my ride yesterday, some technical downhill, a nice view that you'll see on all my properties. You'll see it on Twitter and X, on Facebook, and on YouTube and Instagram. It's a picture of my bike against the bench overlooking a drop off out to the a valley out to the Pacific Ocean. It's pretty beautiful. And there's a bunch of videos and shorts around all that too. So check it out. Give me some likes and subscribes. Also, giving some serious thought in the next day or two to doing a live stream on Teddy Talks Bikes. So about e-bikes, regular bikes, repairs, my tips and tricks for how do I buy them all so inexpensively, yet still get really quality bikes. So that's probably coming either Thursday or Friday this week. My first live stream on Teddy Talks Bikes, because it's all just been bike videos so far of me riding with friends, riding with my son, yeah, that kind of stuff. Riding solo.
Yeah, buddy. I watched your videos when I was at lunch. You know,
Nice. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
I can listen to folks while I'm working, but you know, actually watching a video that has to wait till I'm at lunch. So
Well, I appreciate you giving me your premium time, David. That means a lot, and thank you. I hope it was entertaining and worth your time. So, yeah,
I liked that. I was watching it. It kind of reminded me of riding a mountain bike up in the hills around here, which I have a buddy that's severely into that. I mean,
yeah. I mean, these e-bikes, they're great for going up the hill, but then when you're going down, it's a lot of extra weight. I weigh 285 down from 335 in February, so I've lost 50 pounds. But then I probably have 50 pounds of crap on the bike with a 13-pound motor, a 13-pound battery, a bunch of tools, tire liners, slime in the tubes, a heavier duty frame. These old vintage downhill aluminum frames are ideal for high torque mid-drive conversions. And because if you use carbon fiber frame, these motors will just wrench them. They'll just shred them. They'll shred a carbon fiber frame in short order. So it's got to be like steel, titanium, or aluminum. And there's just tons of aluminum downhill bikes out there, and a lot of them are really devalued. I got 2 for $500 a pop each, and that's maybe sounds like a lot, but yes, one of them had a $500 fork and a $500 rear shock on it. So and really nice wheels, and so you can get some really good deals. And I'll talk more about that on Thursday and Friday. I'm not give away all my secrets here at the end of this show. You gotta come.
yeah. You got to save it for the new YouTube channel. You know,
That's right. Well, thank you, David. And what do you have going on the rest of the week? Obviously, you said you have a show tonight.
a little bit later on tonight, we got 49er talk and trivia with the big panel. So everybody pull up, check it out. Hopefully we can get through a couple of pages of trivia. but kind of depends on who shows up and what we're talking about, you know.
Nice. I'll do my best to pop by, but evenings and weekends are rough.
You're all right. You got the youngins.
Yeah,
right?
I got the youngins. And then also on Monday with Raj at 1:30 p.m., most likely 1:30 on Monday. We got John Pay coming on. He's a former Stanford quarterback, former Stanford basketball player, played against Michael Jordan in college, played for the 49ers or backed up for the 49ers. He was the backup for Joe Montana and Steve Young. He was on the 89 team. He got a ring. I met him at a Super Bowl party. He's like, oh, when I was on the team. And I was like, oh, who are you? He's like, John Pay. I'm like, oh, damn. I'm like, you got to come on my show. So he has once, and this will be the second time. And excited for that. He's a great guy and, a Bay Area legend. I guess he's never lived more than 6 miles from Stanford campus. And his dad went there. His mom went there. His sister went there. His sister, Kate, was on the 91 national championship women's basketball team at Stanford, and she played for Tara Vanderveer. Then she became Tara Vanderveer's assistant head coach, and Tara Vanderveer, after many, many years of being the Stanford women's head coach basketball, finally just retired, and Kate Pay was just named the head coach. So it's pretty exciting. We got to announce that on the last show, and I'm sure we'll have some other fun stuff to announce Monday.
Oh, Sentinel's asking if you could post a link in the chat.
Oh, yeah, sure. Let me do that. It's in all my properties, so you can see it on Twitter and X, and on YouTube. It's in there, but I'll copy it and we'll put it in here too. Thank you for that, and thank you, David, for letting me do that. I appreciate it. Let me just do me, and boom.
Those e-bikes are fun.
They really are, especially as you get older. It just, it gets harder and harder to get up the hills, and they really help with that and just help you to get. I don't really do it to go super fast. I just do it to do things, to go longer distances than I would normally be able to go. So that should do it. And like I said, there's all kinds of videos on there of me riding, my son riding, me riding with my son's friends and their dads, and then me riding solo on some of the Harrier stuff where I can't take my son. But some of it, I have my son on a trailer behind me, a pedal trailer where he has 7 speeds and a brake, and pretty soon he's gonna have a knobby tire just like mine. I'm just waiting for it to come. I got it on a cheap site, so it took like 3 weeks to arrive. I'm looking at ordering some replacement tires on there in like September. I'm like, geez, June, July, August, like, it's like 2.5, almost a whole quarter. Yeah, if you're cheap, you kind of, people are like, how cheap are you? I'm like, I'm so cheap, I reuse zip ties. So, I cut them in the way where you can reuse most of it and reuse them. So yeah, I'm just on a shoestring budget, and so I probably need to get a job at a bike shop as kind of the next step potentially, but we'll see. Waiting till I get all this build stuff out of the way and a few good rides in, and then maybe think about doing that. Not just to get paid to work in a bike shop, but then ideally maybe someday to open my own bike shop once I have that knowledge. Because I've done management, I've done sales, I'm a certified bike mechanic, and I've built 4 e-bikes, 3 hub drives, and a mid drive now. So there's not much in a bike shop that I can't do. I just don't have that specific experience, that specific retail experience yet. So maybe soon.
Hey, yeah, maybe one of these days you'll have your own bike shop, Ted.
That's sort of the goal. So yeah. Or some kind of bike related venture. I had given some thoughts to kind of like e-bike tours where you like go from destination to destination, you ride kind of all day, and then like feed people a really nice dinner with some good booze or good wine, and then take care of all the bikes for them, get them ready for the next day so they can just go to sleep and get up and ride to the next destination, and then sort of camp, bike glamping and e-biking kind of combined, sort of my idea. So I won't say the locations yet, but that's coming soon too, hopefully.
Heck
Oh yeah,
yeah, buddy.
eBay for parts. Yeah, absolutely, Sentinel. I look on Amazon, eBay, AliExpress, Temu, and then Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, Pink Bike. I guess I am giving away some of my special sauce here. And the trick is with all these things is to establish a conversation with people, and just like, oh, hey, your bike's $800, and like, oh, I'm really interested, but I don't have all the money yet. And then you start talking like, oh, it's a really beautiful bike and blah, blah, blah. And show them that you know what you're talking about. I like those rims or whatever it is you like about it. And once you're talking to them, then a lot of times when they lower the price, because after it's been on for a while, they typically will lower the price some. A lot of times they'll tell you before they tell the world. And so that's one way to get a leg up on everybody else on a reduced price for a bike you want. So, or a part or whatever it is. Yeah.
Nice.
Contact the seller first. Exactly.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. I mean, I got a Jeep, so I could just cruise right on up to the mountains, park it in a parking lot, hop on a bike and go for, a long ride. And we have some serious trails here. There's actually a biking / walking trail that the county made, and it starts at this canyon that's right over here, and it goes, I don't actually know where it ends. Because it goes all the way through the county into the next county.
That's
and
awesome.
I think they kept going with it.
That's awesome. Yeah, when you can just go and ride till you're just tired and done for, and you still don't get finished. That's awesome. Yeah, I'd say go explore.
And it takes it to areas that you don't see from the normal city streets. Right.
Just got to do it in like spring and fall when it's not so cooking hot there.
Yep.
That's why I went to the coast. That's why I went to the coast yesterday to El Granada, which is just north of Half Moon Bay. It's called Quarry Park. And because the forecast was like 68 degrees, and the other place I was looking at called Rancho Cañada down in Morgan Hill, it's supposed to be like 93 degrees. That's too hot, man. And it's funny because everybody goes, "Oh, you're on an e-bike. You're on an e-bike. You're not getting a workout." And like this shirt was just sweat drenched today, and the shirt I wore yesterday, sweat drenched. So save all that nonsense. If you turn it down to where you're helping the bike and the bike's helping you, and you're not just relying on the motor to do all the work, then you're going to get a good workout. It may take a little bit more distance than natural pedaling or on acoustic bike, we want to call it, but as long as you just keep riding, you will get a good workout. Absolutely.
Well, yeah. All right. So, it's getting to the point. I'm getting hungry, folks. I can go cook me some dinner.
Good idea. And then we got to get off for East Coast Red and Gold. Everybody make sure you go check out Jess and the gang.
That's right. In 15 minutes, East Coast Red and Gold goes live, folks. Go check it out. They always have great guests.
And then in a week and 15 minutes, it's going to be me and Beto and Terradome all on there in a Battle Royale Thunderdome. Terradome and
I'll be tuning in for that one. Tell you what.
Oh, man. It's going to be no hold barred, baby. I'm going for blood. Going for blood. Absolutely. All right. Well, everybody take care. Thanks everybody who showed up. Thank you, David, as always, for dealing with me on a weekly basis. And I'll guess I'll just say peace and go Niners.
Hey, go Niners and F all